But hello, everybody. I'm sitting here with Lynda Johnson, and I'm Tom Taylor.
Hi, I'm Lynda.
And we did a great project together that we're so excited about called Raven.
Yes, Raven is a short story that is part of a fantasy world. She's a raven, and she goes on a journey. So I've been thinking of this story for several years and had finished it and put it in a drawer. And then when I was working with Tom on some other things, with you on some other things, I talked to you about making a little film with it, and that is how this came to be.
I was pretty honored, and
thank you.
It was pretty cool because I really liked the story. She gave me a copy of it, and I read it. So the rest is history. This was where Lynda got a phone call, and I ran into the woods, and I set up a dolly, and I started spinning around in a complete 360 very slowly to film this opening scene. And I love where the light's coming through, but I darkened everything just enough, and with the rain coming down, it looks like a rainy day still.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day, and he came out and said, I think I got a great shot there, and ended up being the start of the movie.
I never thought I would use it,
No.
but I thought, it was a really cool shot.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Now, this was shot on the way to Tamarack.
Yeah, anyone who's driven up there knows that there's usually mist coming off the water in the morning, and so you were able to catch that time.
In Donnelly, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then these ones where it's up above, we had a drone shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I bobbled the camera with effects in the, of course, post to make it look like she's flying.
Yeah.
I was holding up that camera. We were running through the forest trying to film Raven flying.
We were literally running through the trees.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a pretty awesome memory.
Yeah. You can just picture her dashing between these trees. And,
right.
And this we did with our puppet, I guess, bird puppet, and he made her eyes blink. And
we purchased a bunch of different birds, and then there's some live birds in this too. So we have all different kinds of, you know how main actors have their extras that do the stunt scenes for them.
Yeah.
A lot of these were filmed with a drone during daytime. Even if it's black and white and looks rainy, what I did is just darkened the images, took the midtones down.
Mm-hmm. I love this scene you made.
Oh, through the raindrop.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love her face there.
Yeah. I told Lynda I have to do this one shot, and she patiently waited. I finally got it done. That was the last scene I did. That's right. Came back around to it.
Yeah.
And there she is, shivering in the cold.
And these are tamarack branches. Those giant, beautiful trees have those tiny pine cones. And this is an Idaho storm for sure.
Right.
The way the clouds look.
Yeah.
When there's a severe storm coming in.
And I added those rain drops post. A lot of the rain, almost every single scene had no rain.
Yeah.
But we had to create the rain while we were up there using the Donnelly and Tamarack trees.
And a green screen with a fan for the wings. And then Tom put lots of pieces together to make the bird fly. That's amazing to me.
No, a lot of trickery. And it's hard to believe that was daytime and with the sun out, but it was.
And that shot is from the Tamarack Grove where we hiked.
That's right.
Actually with the smoke jumper who showed us how to get there.
Yeah, there's a beautiful triangle of tamaracks right up on the ski lodge. One of the runs goes right beside it. Right
through it.
And he showed us the road how to get up there.
Yeah.
And Lynda still hikes up there. That's what she's told me.
It's one of my favorite places to go hike all summer long till it snows too much.
That's the great thing about filming a lot of these shots was even if they were used for a split second or not used at all, it was really memorable and great being out in the outdoors up there in Donnelly. And
it feels like home to us because we've all spent a lot of time up there. It's a beautiful place.
Lynda came up with that idea, and I love it that we do it in black and white. I've always loved that in movies. kind of like the Wizard of Oz thing. As the movie goes on, this one kind of fades into color. It's not just a door opening like Wizard of Oz, but
right. It was a cold, gray day. Even the water on the lake will look gray during a day like that when a storm's blowing over the lake. And so it seemed to suit the beginning of the story when she's so cold and all she wants is to get warm.
Great natural effects from nature a lot of times helped us out.
True.
And then I would just do a little trickery afterwards. Some shots took a little bit more work, but most of them, a lot of times we lucked out.
Well, you made us luck out with your skills with the software and all. I mean, you made shots work for the story, which amazed me when I saw the final. Well, there were a lot of shots that we took. We were looking for the right weather. We were also racing against the first snowstorm because this needed to take place in the fall,
right? Without
the snow. So with the different effects that you have and things, it looks like you're way high up in the sky, and that's amazing to me.
Like this one, the cloud was cut out and I pulled it back a little quicker than the other one, so it gives that illusion of, your
movement,
layers of clouds.
Yeah, just like they do.
And then sometimes I would stretch and move the cloud. It would be stretching vertically a little more than horizontally, and it gives it that kind of like the clouds moving toward you and morphing.
Right.
Not just a stretch where the whole item is just getting bigger.
Right.
I try to get the sides, the top, or whatever's coming at you to make it look surreal but realistic at the same time.
Oh, here's the Tamarack Grove.
There it is, the Tamarack Grove. That's right. We just spun around shooting a straight up shot.
There were some times that the raven was worked on the kitchen table at the cabin. We put frost and ice on its wings with glitter and just things that look like ice. So that'll be coming up here.
To make her look colder as the journey went on.
We put it on her face, her poor little face.
A lot of these cloud images were images that were filmed here in Boise from my doorstep or from places, because you're just filming straight up. You don't have to worry about the backgrounds.
Right. And we have beautiful clouds here. Tom was able to go out and get some amazing shots, some days, and he would say, I think I got it, They were beautiful things.
That's Lynda pushing these wires but underneath the baby birds, making them move. Remember that?
Got to be a puppeteer that day. We were actually in a tree by the lake, or near a tree, and we put the nest there and the birds and then wired them up so they could move a little bit.
That's right. Some of the characters she had, like Blue, I just kind of created from a swan by her story, and then the big wings and then a tail. She had an image that pretty much captured it, and I just, tried to make the wings move, the head move, tail move. I had fun with that.
You did a great job. I was so happy with that, how that turned out. I had an image from another story of a shape that was made of clouds, though. But this was supposed to be the space between the clouds, which was also alive. So when I described that to Tom, he created it and made it move and fly.
Right. I really liked that idea. The blueness between the clouds is the actual character, and that's such a great idea. And here we tried getting this shot with the feather falling down, and it worked pretty good. I did it on a green screen with a Lazy Susan type thing and spun it, and then the camera was up, and then I brought it downward. But at the end, I ended up just using it post with one feather and spun it.
I love the way that turned out.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. The green screen ended up being too difficult over the edges.
I like this one, the way you layered the clouds, and she's finally, getting to the top.
Right. But, she put one cloud over another, and I kind of poked a hole in it and then stretched that.
somehow you made it look so vast and
I tried to make
enormous.
her like go into the sun, and then
Yeah.
then the other one morphs into the other scene.
And you put these sun's rays here somehow, and I thought that was beautiful too.
Yeah, to show that she's on the top. Well, thanks. Because the sun's actually getting low on the horizon because the moon's about to come up. So I tried to keep that feeling of the sun just at the very top edge of the clouds, but about to go down. And then she drops another feather.
Yeah.
There.
He's very, very cold by this point.
Yeah, here's where a lot of the scenes we did with the wing and their face with the frost on it.
Right.
Those were frosted wings, but you can't tell from here.
No.
So she's a little too far away, but
yeah, that's okay.
And there's the blue again. And this time you can see the wings and the tail moving.
Yeah. I love how subtle that is. It's not an image that is too obvious. You almost have to look for it. It's almost more a feeling.
Right. And Raven flies a little bit quicker, which, I mean, more realistic like a raven, but I tried to make blue just really dreamy and floaty, float.
Yeah.
And that was, where did I film? Oh, going across that bridge.
That was across the bridge.
In Donnelly, going to Tamarack.
The one that you take on the way to Tamarack, the S Bridge.
Just filmed it right out my window.
Yeah.
My car.
I really love what you did with the moon. Tom took an oil painting, kind of a classic oil painting, and the way the eyes and the face looked, and used his magic to kind of use that to help make the moon's face. And I just love the way that turned out. It's just perfect.
I thought the moon looked like spackling. Like when you do a room or a ceiling, and I go, that's painting. I go, why don't I get a face that looks like it's painted? And
face has such a classic look to it.
Oh, thanks.
Like an old painting.
And this is the part where she falls, and I tried to just make subtle movements, but kind of bumping, like she's unconscious, or you know, I mean, I tried to make it sad, but at the same time,
it makes me sad every time I see it, and I think you captured that there. I tried to really go with Lynda's story, and I love how it's kind of left where, did she survive that fall, or is this like the Wizard of Oz? She wakes up and it was just a dream that she flew, but she has all that knowledge now, and it was so real. The amazing thing about stories, all the stages of our life, as from when we're younger to now, or to middle age to older age, is that the meaning usually is different. And for the same person at all of those stages, we receive it in a different way. And I love how that plays out. I agree with that. And one of the things I like about writing fantasy and reading fantasy is that you can tell very deep truths from kind of a sideways direction rather than directly. It can mean what it needs to mean for each person who hears the story. This part, I didn't know how we were going to make it look like the words in the story, and I'm just so happy with the reflection on the water and the way she blends with the sky again. I just think it's...
where she flies away at the end, up into the clouds. I tried to make her look like a swan, like a swan flying.
Kind of a swan with a mermaid's tail.
I love practical effects, which are, real life tangible effects, but where I did use my own, effects post, I tried to make it look realistic.
Well, Tom is a painter and an artist as well, and that certainly comes through in a lot of the things that he created.
Well, thanks. And she is too. The music is absolutely beautiful. This song you're listening to is hers from a long time ago, and she gave me a CD, and I just go, oh my gosh, you've got to do that Moonbeam River.
Yeah.
I just loved it. So she ended up putting it on there. This was a shot on the way back down the mountain after filming up in Donnelly, between Donnelly and Boise, and I just loved that river section. I filmed it in slow motion.
And the tamarack trees.
Yep. And it was fall. It was perfect time to film.
Yeah, I love that river.
Thanks so much, Lynda. I sure enjoyed this project with you.
Thank you. I did too. Thank you, Tom.